You are looking at Capernaum in 30 AD. Before any structure, this place already said everything. The northwestern shore of a freshwater sea, a natural harbor protected from wind, a junction where the Via Maris meets local roads, flat land for building, and water that never runs dry. Cities don't emerge by chance. They appear where survival is possible and control is viable. Capernaum exists because fishing is abundant, routes converge, and Roman taxation requires a checkpoint. The basalt stones beneath your feet were laid by people who understood terrain, flow, and access. This is not a village anymore. This is a functioning city embedded in imperial logistics, Galilean trade, and daily survival. This is not a tour of monuments. This is a reconstruction of functioning. How this city feeds itself, how it builds, how it moves, how it protects itself, and how it maintains order. Because a city doesn't sustain itself through grandeur, it sustains itself through routine. You will see the nets being mended, the customs officer collecting dues, the mason repairing a courtyard wall, the women drawing water at dawn, the merchant arriving with Egyptian grain. Capernaum in 30 AD is a working organism, bound by the rhythms of the sea, the demands of Rome, the cycles of Sabbath, and the flow of people moving between Galilee and Syria. Everything you see here exists, functions, and is explained only within this time. Before the center, there is the boundary. Capernaum sits on the Via Maris, the ancient coastal highway connecting Egypt to Damascus. This means traffic, taxation, and surveillance. A customs post stands near the main road, operated by a publican who works for Herod Antipas and answers to Roman fiscal authority. Every merchant, every cart, every donkey carrying goods is assessed. Fishermen pay taxes on their catch. Travelers are observed. The customs officer records transactions on wax tablets. His presence is resented but absolute. There are no walls around Capernaum, but control is exercised through economic checkpoints, not stone. Entry is open, but nothing passes unnoticed. The road determines who arrives, and the tax collector determines what they pay. The city organizes itself by function and proximity. The synagogue occupies a central position near the shore, a limestone structure visible from the water, rebuilt multiple times, the gathering point for Sabbath, study, and public announcements. Around it, courtyards, family compounds built of basalt, shared walls, narrow alleys. The shoreline is lined with docks, drying racks, and stone anchors. Fishing families live close to the water. Merchants and artisans occupy the area near the road. The customs house stands at the intersection of the Via Maris and local streets. There is no formal grid, but there is logic. Work near water, trade near road, prayer near center. Living close to the synagogue or the shore signals economic stability. Distance signals poverty or transience. Without water, this city does not exist. Capernaum draws from the Sea of Galilee. Fresh water, fishable, drinkable. Wells are dug into courtyards. Women carry clay jars on their shoulders at dawn and dusk, a rhythm older than the city itself. Water is stored in stone cisterns and ceramic vessels. Every household manages its own supply. There is no central aqueduct here. This is not Rome. Water is personal, daily, and genskoi labor. During drought, wells are guarded. During rain, cisterns overflow. The sea provides fish and water, but both require maintenance, attention, and respect. Disputes over water access are resolved by custom, proximity, and clan authority. Water is the first thing secured each morning. The city depends on what comes from outside and what it produces locally. Fish is primary. Tilapia, sardines, barbel, salted, dried, sold fresh, or sent inland. Fishing is a family enterprise. Boats are inherited, nets are collective property, labor is shared across generations. Grain comes from Galilee's interior valleys, carried by donkey or cart. Lentils, barley bread, olives, figs, and dates form the base of every meal. Oil and wine arrive from nearby farms. Salt for preservation comes from the Dead Sea or coastal evaporation pans. Honey is rare. Meat is occasional, reserved for festivals or sacrifices. Capernaum does not grow all its food. It buys, barters, and imports. When roads are blocked by conflict or weather, prices rise. When fishing fails, hunger follows. The market near the Via Maris operates daily except Sabbath, controlled by routine and religious law. Nothing here arrives finished. Basalt stone is quarried from local volcanic rock, heavy, dark, difficult to shape. Limestone is imported for the synagogue and wealthier homes. Roofs are made from wooden beams, covered with thatch, reeds, and packed mud. Every rainy season requires roof repair. Floors are packed earth or basalt slabs. Walls are dry stacked or mortared, with lime plaster. Construction is slow, generational, and continuous. A house begun by a grandfather is completed by a grandson. Tools are iron chisels, wooden mallets, and ropes. Transport is human or animal. Masons, carpenters, and laborers work for barter or daily wages paid in grain or coin. The city is always being repaired, adapted, and expanded. Nothing is permanent. Everything requires maintenance. The sound of the city comes from labor. Nets being woven and mended by the shore. Fish being gutted, salted, packed into jars. Looms clicking in courtyards where women weave linen and wool. Blacksmiths hammering iron for hooks, nails, and tools. Potters shaping oil lamps and storage jars on slow wheels. Bakers kneading dough in communal ovens. Carpenters planing beams for boats and roofs. The wealth of Capernaum is not accumulated luxury. It is sustained daily effort. Men work the sea, the forge, and the road. Women manage water, food preparation, textile production, and childcare. Children assist, learn, and inherit roles. Wealth is measured in boats, livestock, stored grain, and family networks. The economy is local, functional, and bound by religious cycles that halt all production every seventh day. Life happens in the streets. The Via Maris pulses with caravans, soldiers, merchants, and pilgrims moving between Caesarea Philippi and Tiberias. Fishermen haul their catch from shore to market before dawn. Women gather at wells to exchange news and water. Children play in courtyards. Donkeys carry grain and oil. The market operates near the customs post. Fish, bread, vegetables, pottery, cloth, spices. Prices are negotiated aloud. Quality is inspected. Weight is disputed. Roman coins circulate alongside local currency. Greek is spoken for trade, Aramaic for daily life, Hebrew for prayer. Space is regulated by custom. Men dominate public areas, women control domestic thresholds, children navigate both. The Sabbath empties the streets. No trade, no travel, no labor. The city rests. But 6 days a week, movement defines Capernaum. Power manifests through symbols, rules, and enforcement. Herod Antipas governs Galilee from Tiberias, exercising control through tax collectors and local officials. Rome watches from a distance, but its presence is real. Soldiers patrol the Via Maris, coins bear Caesar's face, taxes fund imperial infrastructure. The synagogue holds religious and communal authority. Disputes are settled there, teachings are delivered, community decisions are made. Elders command respect through age, lineage, and knowledge of Torah. Punishment is public. Shaming, flogging, expulsion. There are no prisons. Order is maintained through collective pressure, religious law, and fear of dishonor. Security depends on clan loyalty, neighborly vigilance, and the economic interdependence that makes betrayal costly. Beyond survival, there is meaning. Sabbath structures the week. Work stops, families gather, Torah is read, the world is remembered as creation. Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles draw pilgrims toward Jerusalem. Daily prayers mark dawn, midday, and dusk. Ritual baths purify before prayer and after contact with the unclean. Phylacteries and fringes remind the body of sacred obligation. Miracles are expected: healings, exorcisms, prophetic utterances. The boundary between physical and spiritual is thin. Demons cause illness. God sends rain. Prophets walk among crowds. Faith is not private. It is communal, visible, and embodied. The synagogue is not just a building. It is the beating heart of collective identity, memory, and hope in a world ruled by foreign powers. When light disappears, the city changes. Oil lamps flicker in courtyards, their small flames fed by olive oil pressed in nearby villages. Each lamp illuminates only a few feet, enough to see faces around a low table, enough to avoid stumbling over a threshold, but not enough to banish the darkness that swallows the streets. Movement slows. The constant hum of daytime labor, hammering, haggling, children shouting, donkeys braying, fades into something quieter, more cautious. Streets empty. Doors are barred from the inside with wooden beams. The Via Maris, so crowded at midday, becomes a ribbon of shadow where only the foolish or desperate travel after sunset. The sea becomes invisible but audible. Waves lap against the stone docks where boats are tied. Wooden hulls creak as they shift with the water's rhythm. The smell of fish, so overwhelming during the day, lingers faintly in the cool night air. Fishermen who will depart before dawn are already awake, checking nets by lamplight, coiling ropes, murmuring plans in Aramaic. Their wives sleep lightly, accustomed to the pre-dawn departure, the uncertainty of the catch, the danger of sudden storms on a lake that can turn violent without warning. Families gather around low tables in their courtyards, sharing bread dipped in oil, lentil stew, dried fish, perhaps a handful of olives or figs. Conversations are soft. Children lean against their mothers. Elders recount stories: Abraham's journey, Moses at the sea, David's psalms. These are not entertainments. They are identity, memory, and instruction passed from breath to breath. The day's labor is discussed. How much fish was sold, what the tax collector demanded, whether the roof needs repair before the rains come. Plans are made for tomorrow, always within the structure of religious law and seasonal cycles. Guards remain awake near the customs post, watching the road for movement. Bandits are real. Rival clans sometimes settle disputes violently. Roman patrols pass irregularly, their armor catching moonlight, their presence a reminder that this region belongs to an empire that does not rest. The customs officer sleeps behind a locked door, his records and coins secured, his role hated but essential to the functioning of trade and taxation. The synagogue stands silent, its limestone, walls pale under starlight. It will remain empty until morning prayers, but its presence organizes the city even in darkness. The Sabbath, when it falls, transforms night into sacred stillness. No lamps are lit, no fires kindled, no work attempted. The city submits entirely to rest, to memory, to the commandment that separates Israel from the nations. It is in this silence that we understand what Capernaum truly was: a system sustained by water, drawn from the sea, fish pulled from its depths, grain carried down from Galilean hills, laws inherited from Sinai, and the rhythms of Sabbath and season. The city was never grand. It was functional, fragile, and deeply human.
Look closely.
What remains today are black basalt ruins scattered along the shore, and a white synagogue rebuilt centuries later by people who never knew this night. What existed then was life, hard, structured, communal, and sacred. A city of fishermen and tax collectors, where a carpenter's son from Nazareth spoke beside them, water, healed the sick in cramped courtyards, and challenged the authorities who controlled access, taxation, and religious interpretation. The world changed quietly here, one conversation at a time, in a city that depended on nets, roads, wells, and the daily repetition of survival.